years ago. Devil's Mountain is also home to one of the most breathtaking sights in the world, Angel Falls. This is the oldest and tallest waterfall on the planet, twice the height of the Empire State Building, just under a mile high. But Hans and Terry haven't come to look at water. They have come to look at the rock it falls from. This comes from the same source as the Sahara. How did it end up in a jungle on the other side of the world? To the trained eye of a geologist, the thousands of cracks in the landscape hold the answer.
You can kind of see the real distinct square and diamond shape of the towers, which reflects the fracture pattern within the rock.
These cracks were formed by the most powerful force on Earth, the tearing apart of a continent. The ancient desert of Pangaea sat on a massive tectonic plate that floats above the molten core of the world. As the plates moved in different directions, Pangaea was split in two. Half became the Amazon, and the other half became the Sahara. And this epic event didn't just split the desert, it rearranged the continents. It created the world as we know it. But for the Sahara, the violent transformations were far from over. This was just the beginning. The sands of the Sahara seem timeless, but its history is one of violent transformations. Climate change, civilization, epic geological catastrophes have all played out here. But this is not the end of the story. In this arid, lifeless environment, scientist Matt Lamana found one of the most remarkable discoveries in the Sahara's history. A massive ocean in the middle of the desert. There have been rivers and lakes before, but this was much older and much, much bigger. Matt's discovery began when he uncovered one of the biggest creatures on the planet.
We started finding bone after bone after bone. Some colleagues of mine, they thought that they were working on two separate bones, but those bones actually turned into one as they kept digging. And when we all realized what it was, we knew we were dealing with a very, very large animal.
The skeleton belonged to a paralotitan. 10 times larger than a T-Rex, this giant four-legged vegetarian was the biggest of all dinosaurs.
Our best guess is that it was between 80 and 90 feet long and probably weighed between 40 and 45 tons. An average African elephant weighs about 5 tons, so you can imagine Paralotitan is weighing as much as an entire herd of elephants.
This beast required half a ton of vegetation every day. The landscape it lived in must have been incredibly different.
95 million years ago, we're in a shallow marine realm, in a tidal channel. The tide's coming in and coming out. It would have been like a tropical paradise.
This area was teeming with so much life that today, fossils literally stick out of the surface of the ground. So what else was living in the middle of the desert?
This is definitely the tooth plate of a lungfish. Here is the base of a tooth of a sawfish. This is a relative of sharks. And then finally, this is actually butting up right against a piece of turtle shell right here.
This is evidence of marine life on a massive scale. An environment similar to the Caribbean today. So how big was this ancient stretch of water?